Just a few years after Eric Cantona won the award, we had another French winner, and it was in 1999. It was David Ginola. What do you remember of him as a player? I can see the Paris Saint-Germain poster in the background, and he obviously played for PSG as well. So you must have some fond memories of David.
Oh yes, he was my idol growing up, going to the Parc des Princes with my dad in those years, early 90s. He was fantastic to watch. I mean, you would pay your ticket, you would get your ticket just to see David playing. It was as simple as that. He was fantastic. He was El Magnifico, which is the nickname that we gave him, that the Spanish press gave him as well, because he was so, well, he was so beautiful. He's a very handsome man. He was so beautiful to watch. He was so elegant. He was so gifted technically, which was not something really. I mean, we've had great players before him, but never like a winger like in that type who could run at people with so much pace and so much swag, and who scored all those great goals, and who was also very arrogant in many respects, full of confidence, a bit full of himself, which is not a criticism at all, but which is very French. But on the football pitch, we rarely had, at least at that kind of level. But that was him. It's either you loved him or you hated him because he was playing against you, and he was killing you every time he was playing against you, and all of that. So it was all my best memories pretty much of supporting PSG as a kid, where I had David Ginola involved in some of them, whether it's the incredible game against Real Madrid, for example, in the 4-1 win at the Parc des Princes in '93. Before that, winning the title, all those great games that he had. And then I think, in a way, I thought he would leave for a bigger club than Newcastle. No offense again to Newcastle, but at the time, even with Kevin Keegan, even with Alan Shearer, even with the great players that were there or would come after, for us in France, it was like we thought he was going to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona or Juventus or those kind of clubs. And it was a bit of a surprise, really, when we saw him going to Newcastle. But then we thought, you know what, English football will love him. And it's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so like Eric Cantona, Ginola had some of his best years in England. Obviously, he had these great performances for PSG in European competition as well. But would it be fair to say he's more respected or more well remembered this side of the channel?
With no doubt. I mean, obviously for him, the whole controversy what tarnished his image really in France and the reputation was what happened with the national team and the game against Bulgaria in the qualifiers, the last game of the qualifiers for the '94 World Cup. When France are through, they qualified. Just need to hold up for the draw 1-1 at the Parc des Princes against Bulgaria, and he crosses the ball with no reason. Bulgaria go on the counter-attack, score that winning goal in the last kick of the game to win 2-1, to knock us out of that World Cup, of qualifying for that World Cup. And then he's made the scapegoat, not really unfairly, because maybe he shouldn't have crossed the ball, but there was still whole 90 meters for Bulgaria to counter-attack and score the goal. There was all the rest of the French team that can stop them, and no one did. So he was made the scapegoat, and that was very, very unfair. And after that, it was never the same for him back home. And I think he found in England, a bit like Conto, a lot of freedom, a lot of love coming from people, which was not the case in France too much, unless you were a PSG fan, but for the rest of the country, whereas I think in England, everybody loved him. Newcastle fans, of course, maybe not Sunderland fan, but apart from that, everybody else, because he was a showman, because everybody would love watching him play. Whoever you supported, you would just love going and watch Ginola play. And that's why, and certainly he found that love, and I think he found that mutual respect in England with people in England that he never really found with French people. And again, that's a real shame. I can't really explain it in a way. We will talk about Thierry Henry later, and there's a lot of similarities there, even with him too. So it's a strange one, but certainly far more loved, I think, and respected and adored in England than in France.